Thousands of Minnesota kids are heading to a day-long concert in St. Paul.
We Day is such a great thing. It's all about celebrating these kids' commitment to volunteer work. Take a look at the energy in Xcel from last year. You can't buy a ticket to get into We Day. You have to earn it. 18,000 high school students and middle school and elementary students from across the state are taking a field trip today to spend the day with pop stars and nationally known speakers and hopefully get inspired to then keep that work moving forward and keep the volunteerism going. Kate Raddatz is live at Xcel Energy Center this morning with one of the organizers of We Day. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jason. Yeah, it might be a little quiet inside the X this morning, but it's going to look very different in just a couple of hours when We Day kicks off. Here to tell us a little bit more about it this morning is Zoe Stern. She's the Associate Director of We Day Minnesota. So thank you so much for being here. So for people who don't know what We Day is, what is it exactly?
We Day is a celebration of Minnesota youth taking action in their communities.
I would say it's both a concert and a motivational event for all these kids that have given back to their community. You're going to have 18,000 you're expecting here today. And some of the performers, you have some pretty big names.
We do. We have Ciara, Nico and Vince. Chelsea Clinton will be here with us this morning.
And I know you can't buy a ticket. Unfortunately, you cannot buy a ticket to get to We Day. How do these kids, how do they get their way into here?
The kids have to earn a ticket. So they've all done one local active service and one global active service over the course of last year and the coming year, and that's how they've earned their ticket.
And I believe this is the third year for We Day. You've been with the event now a couple of years. So how have you seen it grown? How has it changed?
Just the amount that the kids are doing for the state of Minnesota is incredible. Last year, they volunteered 700,000 hours in the state, on the ground, door to door, volunteering, and they raised and donated $835,000 to local and global causes.
It seems like such a cool way to thank all of these kids that have done something great in their community. I know it started in Canada. It's now made its way into 13 cities in 3 countries. And one thing I want to show you, I know they said that the center stage is a little bit different this year.
Right. Last year, it was just at one end of the Xcel Center. This year, it's a 360-degree stage. So all through the day, there are going to be performers, speakers, youth speakers happening all over the arena.
Such a cool event. I know the kids are really excited about this. It kicks off at 9:30 this morning. Some of the big names, you mentioned some of them, Ciara, Nico and Vince, as well as Chelsea Clinton, Henry Winkler. So it's a full-on event of music, motivational speeches, and it should be really great. We're going to cover it for you all morning here on WCCO.
Kate, I've talked to some of the young people who are going there, and I know Henry Winkler is exciting to you, but I think the kids,
Yeah.
Nico and Vince seems to be the hot act this year, I think.
That's the big one, and Ciara too, I would say. But I think that's what the kids are listening to these days.
The kids, yes. Okay. Our middle-aged reporter, Kate Raddatz, with that insight. Thank you, Kate. Little Nico and Vince for you this morning. They'll be performing at We Day. This is their song, Runnin'. You probably know their song, Am I Wrong? The Norwegian duo will be performing for thousands of students from across Minnesota. This is the 3rd year in a row those students will take part in We Day Minnesota.
The Xcel Energy Center will be packed with kids who earned their spot to the big event by making a difference in their communities. Since 2007, youth involved in We Day have raised $62 million for more than 2,500 local and global organizations. This year, Minnesota schools have raised $850,000. Kate Raddatz joins us now live from the X with more on today's We Day celebration. Hey, Kate.
Hi, Kim. Yeah, some of the buses have already started arriving here outside the X with kids just dying to get inside here for the event to start for We Day Minnesota. Here to tell us a little bit more about that this morning is Dean and Hutton Phillips. Thanks so much for being here. You guys are the co-chairs of We Day. So why don't we start with you? For people that don't know, what is We Day exactly all about?
So We Day is really a celebration of all of the kids across the state and now around the world creating a movement for social change. So they are volunteering, they are raising money, and we have over 200,000 kids across the state of Minnesota who have done nearly 1 million hours of service, raised $800,000. So it's really exciting, and we're celebrating them here today and all the great things that they're doing.
I know it's basically an all-day event. It's a concert, motivational speeches, all rolled into one. Dean, now these kids, they couldn't buy their tickets to get here. So how did they earn their ticket into here?
Yeah, the only way to get here is to earn their way, and that's we're trying to create young philanthropists throughout the state of Minnesota. And not everybody's fortunate enough to grow up in a family that teaches that or be in situations where they know how to share. And when we can convert takers to givers, the whole state does well. And eventually we want to see this become a national program, and beyond that, an international program.
And I know, speaking of that, I know it's in its third year now, but it's grown so much. So it started in Canada, and now is it in other cities too?
Yeah, so it's in Seattle, it's in California, and now the UK as well, in London and Chicago. So it's really exciting across Canada, starting to grow across the US and in the UK.
I've seen a lot of the tweets coming in. So many kids are excited to be coming today. But what is it that you hope they take away when they leave here today?
So they're twofold. Kids don't get celebrated enough, and in a way, this is the black tie gala for kids. A lot of philanthropies have big dinners and celebrations, and this is a little bit of the carrot for the kids to show them that they're doing great work, and most importantly, inspire them. Some don't know what they're in for today, and they leave here inspired kids. And in this day and age, with the access to the world in the palm of their hand, they can affect great change. And we're trying to provide just a little bit of that inspiration, and it's working. And 200,000 kids throughout the state of Minnesota engaged in the program right now, and that's growing fast.
Well, it's such a cool event. I know they're very excited about some of the performers that are going to be here. The big names are Sierra, Nico and Vinz, Natalie LaRose, as well as some motivational speeches, as I mentioned. And we are going to be covering this all day today. I'm going to be live again in WCCO mid-morning, so you'll also want to check back in later today as well.
Kate, you forgot two of the biggest names. Frank and Amelia will be there on stage as well.
Yes.
You think they're going to do a little dance and singing too?
Well, I hope so. I'm excited to see that.
I don't know. This is a treat for the kids. We don't want to punish them. All right, but it would be entertaining for us. Thanks, Kate.
Yes, it will. Uh-huh.